Hello, welcome to eveiseasy. I'm Sutonia. Sorry I haven't been around the past week or so. I've been busy with real life and also doing a lot of work involved with the Alliance Tournament 12 for Hydra Reloaded. I'm going to do a compilation of different ships I've flown over the past week or so. Look at the choices and mistakes I made, and what I could have done better or differently. Okay, first clip. I am flying a Cyclone. I jump into a small gang of 7 crows and a Tyrannus. Whenever you're flying an active tanking ship and you are confident that your active tank exceeds the incoming damage, or you can remove enough damage in the time frame before you are at risk, bait tanking is something you should definitely consider. Since I'm in a battle cruiser, I really have no hope in terms of catching any of these ships in this fight if they decide to run instead of fight me. So I want to look as vulnerable as possible to them to get them to commit as long as possible without showing my hand. I immediately switch to the Tyrannus as soon as he is available, because he is providing by far the biggest portion of the DPS on the field. I think I could have used my neutralizers more effectively instead of just putting them on the primary target, like putting them on a secondary, although all these crows do not need cap to fire, so it likely wouldn't have helped much. The first mistake I made here was that I didn't turn on my invulnerability field until I had already lost 1/3 of my shields. I should have turned it on sooner to maximise the effectiveness of my ship. I also ended up burning out my mid-rack because I overheated an extra unnecessary micro-warp drive cycle. I also had my invulnerability field heated while I was not boosting and was in armour, which was also unneeded, which cost me a crow kill towards the end of the fight. I probably didn't need to heat any of my defensive modules after the Tyrannus died, because there was no way they would be able to break my tank unheated. I then just de-aggro, loot the field and leave, after killing 5 interceptors. This next fight is a bit complicated. There is a large ganging system consisting of around 20 assaulted frigates, interceptors and destroyers. I am in an artillery thrasher. I warp to the sun in an attempt to see if I can separate something, and eventually a Tyrannus follows me, and also an Ares shortly after. Do not commit to killing the Tyrannus because doing so would leave me on the edge of the Ares' interdiction sphere, where other ships would land on me. One of the advantages that the Ares bubbling brings to me is that any additional ships incoming will land at the edge of the bubble instead of on top of me or at range if they warp to him from fleet warp. I'm able to take down the Ares and escape with my ship by warping to a nearby planet. A condor follows me, so I engage it. I should really be checking the directional scanner at this point. It's really dangerous for me to enter into this fight without checking to see what was incoming. Thankfully I'm able to escape before more reinforcements arrive. After warping around a bit, I then find an Ares waiting on a gate, so I force him through to aggress him and try to make something happen. A Manticore decloaks off the gate, so I engage him, killing him quickly. However, I get tackled by a condor, and again I should have been watching the directional scanner as the large destroyer and frigate gang begins to land on the gate. I micro-warp drive away while double-clicking in space to drop the traversal of the condor, so my artillery tracks him well. I kill the condor, but am now tackled by multiple ships. I almost killed a stiletto, but was unable to kill or shake off the multiple points on me. If I was a bit more calm and collected, I could have swapped my scram between the ships approaching me to turn off their micro-warp drives and better aid my escape from escaping them. The Thrasher is really fun for these kind of things. Here are a few clips of the Thrasher versus a Rail Daredevil, Rail Comet and an autocannon Thrasher. In this fight in a Cruor versus a Cap Booster Vengeance, I make very critical errors. The first is that I never commit properly to the fight. I was unsure what was on the other side, so I stayed outside of multi-frequency range so that I could bail in the event of additional ships entering. But obviously, the best position for me to be in is to shoot this ship with conflagration or multi-frequency, because he's always going to do the same DPS to me regardless of where I am relative to him in scram range. I turn on my Reaper too late, and the second Nosferatu as well, and I decide to go close when it's clear I'm already going to lose the fight, so I can't escape either, and I end up ending up with the worst of both worlds in this fight, and it cost me my ship. Finally, in this Harbinger footage, I jumped into a mining system. There was a Crow on the other side, but Local was empty aside from him. I noticed that there was an Algus on the directional scanner and mining ships had left, so they were probably going to refit to fight me. Local goes up again from my gate, and I recognise the Crow pilot. I also sent up a Local from my gate, so I predict it must be a small ship as no one was there before. The Crow points me and the Algus lands. I kill the Algus quickly and the Manticore decloaks, so my prediction was right. I kill him and keep burning. I notice on D-scan that there's a Sleipnir and some cruisers plus a Saber on scan. I really have a problem with dealing with this Crow because he's orbiting wide enough and I can't track him with Scorch, and my warriors aren't really doing a great job with him. This is pre-Kronos. I would actually use Acolyte 2s now, because they just seem to be better for typical anti-long range interceptor work. Acolyte 2s actually outdamage Warrior 2s now, even against the Stiletto with an anti-EM rig and taking armor resistances into account. So they're better versus medium shield extender interceptors, especially the Crow, Eris, Malediction. So I'm able to kill this Saber by burning away, but unfortunately for me, the Sleipnir is an artillery Sleipnir and he's at the same speed as me. So I can't escape him, I can't get off his damage range. My only way to escape is to get rid of this Crow and this second Crow that's now joined. I noticed that the second Crow, first of all, I did a lot more damage to him, so he's probably has a lower interceptor skill level, and his angular velocity isn't as high, and he's orbiting me at closer range, so it's actually easier for me to track him. And I'm able to kill the second Crow, and the first original Crow unfortunately hits armor as soon as I exploded, so I could have escaped if I had, I think, better drone management in that fight, because my drones decided to switch onto the Saber by themselves, and if I had Acolyte 2s I also probably could have got out of that fight. Another thing maybe I could have done is I could have approached the gate and brawled the Sleipnir, but I don't think I would have killed it before it killed me, and there was more reinforcements. There's also a Pilgrim that showed up towards the end, and it would have put a tracking disruptor on me. Thanks for watching. There'll be more stuff coming soon. Alliance tournament practices, testing, and other covert activities on the test server may get in the way a bit, like it did this past week, but I endeavour to get new stuff out. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.